Please rise for the Honorable Judge Matthew Dalton.
Have you seated? Alright, and I'll be hearing the case of the Brooks versus Lawrence and Metro City Police Department. Absolutely.
Let's make sure we stay on time. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, Your Honor, counsel, today we're going to go over the case of Brooks versus Lawrence. My client, Kim Brooks, we're going to prove today that she is not in any fault of the law and in fact was abused by the powers of the law. We're going to prove that the police department and Officer Lawrence took advantage of my client and went above and beyond the powers given to them by the public, and they took advantage of this young girl and it caused her both emotional pain and financial pain. We're going to prove this today, Your Honor, and that's why my client, Kim Brooks, is requesting $100,000 for pain and suffering, and is also requesting additional police training for Officer Lawrence. We're going to prove today, Your Honor, that we're going to try to ask the court to make a finding of battery, false arrest, and intentional infliction of emotional distress against Officer Lawrence and the entire Metro City Police Department. After interviewing the witnesses today and questioning them and introducing evidence, we hope that this will be brought to light. Thank you, Your Honor. This is just like an opening statement, so you guys leave your opening statement.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here today to oversee the case of Brooks versus Lawrence and Metro City Police Department. In this, I'm going to prove that Brooks not only escalated the situation past where it needed to be, and that Lawrence acted appropriately, and that the Metro City Police Department is in no way at fault for anything that happened. That's it.
Your Honor, we'd like to call our first witness, Kim Brooks.
Please raise your right hand. Alright. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Can you please state your name for the court?
My name is Kim Brooks.
Kim, how old are you on March 15, 2005?
I'm 19.
Kim, according to your statement of facts, you were leaving on a 6 a.m. flight to Florida on March 16th for your sister's wedding. Was this event important to you and your family?
Oh, very, very important.
All right, very good. Now, you were in line at the Shop All store near closing time, correct?
Correct.
Did you ask the cashier for permission to go back and get deodorant?
I did.
And did the cashier tell you what aisle the deodorant was on?
She did.
Was it in this aisle that you first encountered Officer Lawrence?
Yes.
How would you describe Officer Lawrence's attitude towards you at this time?
He was very gruff and really wanted me to leave right then.
Okay. Now, once you returned to the register, you said that the last two customers were getting ready to walk out. Do you recall Lawrence saying anything to these customers?
I do not.
You stated at this point at the register that Officer Lawrence came very close to you. How exactly did you feel at that moment?
I was very scared and uncomfortable, and I've never encountered anything like that before.
Okay. Now, in your affidavit, you said at this point the other two customers who had left tried to get back in the store. Is that correct?
Yes.
And why couldn't they get in?
The doors were locked.
So just to clarify, the doors were definitely locked.
Yes.
All right. Now, when did you call the 911 operator?
I called 911 after Officer Lawrence was getting pretty close to me, and I was feeling very uncomfortable and unsafe.
All right. Your Honor, I would like to have this piece of evidence marked as Plaintiff's Exhibit A. Do you recognize this document at all?
Yes.
All right, what is this document?
It is my phone call to the police department.
All right, thank you. So based off this transcript, Officer Lawrence grabbed you during the 911 call, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Kim, you stated that Officer Lawrence threw you onto the conveyor belt, is that also correct?
That is correct.
Right. Were you in pain when he threw you on the conveyor belt?
Yes.
At this time, I would also like to submit this piece of evidence as Plaintiff's Exhibit B. And do you recognize this document?
Yes.
What is this document?
It is my form from the emergency room.
Now, according to this form, your doctor stated that you had serious bruising around your left wrist, most likely a left wrist contusion. He also said your left shoulder and right knee showed signs of muscular strain. Were these injuries the result of your encounter with Officer Lawrence?
Yes.
Now, Kim, during the time that Officer Lawrence was forcibly arresting you, did he ever read you your Miranda rights?
No.
So, to clarify, you were never read your rights during the arrest.
Correct.
Kim, did any number of police officers that arrived at the shop hall, did they read you your rights at all?
No.
They definitely did not.
No.
Right. Did any of the police officers at the scene question you?
No.
Kim, is it true that at the police station, the officers were rude to you and they mocked you when you began to cry?
Yes.
And did they then march you across the street in shackles?
Yes.
And is it true that as a result of this incident, you lost your school binder, you wasted your expensive plane ticket, you missed your sister's wedding, and you were forced to pay for ER bills, a wrist brace, and pain medication?
Yes.
All right. Kim, I'm truly sorry for all that has happened to you. I admire your bravery in speaking today. Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination. Witness will stay on the stand for cross-examination.
Ms. Brooks, would you say that you have a problem with authority?
Can you clarify the question?
Do you have a problem with authority?
I wouldn't say I have a abnormal problem with authority.
How about an incident in March of 2005 when you verbally assaulted a teacher for giving you a low grade?
I had a problem with that teacher and I addressed it.
Is it also true that you were given in-school suspension
That is true.
for this? Now, in the 911 call, it says in the transcript, it says, look, you're making this harder for both of us. Stop fighting, get down. Is it safe to assume that this was Officer Lawrence? No further questions?
Your Honor, the plaintiff would like to call our second witness, Roxy Derecha, to the stand.
Please use your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Could you please state your name for the court?
Roxy Derecha.
And now, how long have you worked at the shop hall store?
About 6 years now.
And are you a trusted employee of this establishment?
Very much so.
Thank you. Now, on the night of March 15th, were you and Officer Lawrence the only ones working?
There was my employee, or my boss.
Okay. All right. You stated that a fellow employee had previously told you that Officer Lawrence had a temper. Is that correct?
Objection, hearsay.
Objection, Your Honor. The witness heard that from an employee, so therefore it is firsthand knowledge.
Now, moving on from that. On the night of March 15th, Kim Brooks approached your register before closing time. Is that correct?
Yes.
And did you tell Brooks where the deodorant was located?
Yes.
So, just to clarify, you absolutely knew that Brooks went back into the store for deodorant?
I did.
Right. You stated that after Brooks had left the register, you had to unlock the inside door for two customers who were leaving. Is that right?
Yes.
And after you let those customers out of the store, did you lock the doors again?
Yes.
So, just to clarify, you definitely locked the inside doors.
Yes.
No one could have left the store without a key.
Yes.
All right. Now, when Brooks returned to your register with her deodorant, did Lawrence follow her?
Yes.
And how would you describe Lawrence's attitude towards Brooks?
Very gruff, kind of aggressive almost.
Okay. Did Brooks tell Lawrence that you knew she'd gone back for the other?
Yes, she did.
And did Lawrence address you at this time?
I do not believe so.
You stated that Lawrence then got very close to Brooks and ordered him to leave. Did you find this unusual?
Yes, I did.
Why?
I knew that Brooks was gone, and I thought that, like, Lawrence had no reason.
Okay. So just to clarify, you found Lawrence's behavior aggressive.
Yes.
All right. You stated that at this point, Brooks got on her phone and dialed 911. While Brooks was on the phone, did Lawrence attempt to escort her out of the store?
Yes.
And did he then throw Brooks under the conveyor belts and attempt to handcuff her?
Yes.
Did Officer Lawrence then slam Brooks into a glass case full of soda?
Yes.
All right. You stated that you told Officer Lawrence to stop. Why exactly did you tell him to stop?
It just didn't seem right to me.
All right. So just to clarify, you did not feel that Brooks received or deserved the treatment she received?
I did not feel like she deserved it.
Roughly how many police officers arrived at the scene at this time?
I would say about 5.
Okay. And did the door have to be unlocked for them as well?
Yes.
So once again, the door was locked and it had to be unlocked for them to enter.
Yes.
All right. And did Officer Lawrence or any of the police officers that arrived ever read Brooks her Miranda rights?
No.
All right. No further questions, Your Honor?
What's that?
In your statement that you released, you said that you heard that Lawrence has a bit of a temper, but you've never actually seen him get angry with anyone else. So, would you say that this was uncharacteristic for Lawrence?
I've never seen it, but I've heard firsthand it before.
All right. So then you also said in your statement that Brooks put up one heck of a fight. So, can you elaborate on what kind of fight she put up?
Well, like anyone, she was struggling. She did not know what was going on. She was confused. It seemed reasonable to me that she would kind of straight-told.
So, in other words, resisting arrest. So, it also says that your shop hall has very strict policies when it comes to closing. Can you elaborate on these policies for me?
No one is allowed to enter or leave after the closing time.
Were you aware of these policies at the time?
Yes, I was.
Yet you allowed her to go back, knowing that it was breaking the policy, correct?
Correct.
So, in this event, it was escalated not only because she was unaware, but she wasn't told until Lawrence because you didn't do your job correctly. Am I correct?
Correct.
So it was Lawrence who had to step in and tell because the job hadn't been done previously. Am I correct?
Correct.
No further questions.
Your Honor, I'd like to re-examine the witness, which is limited to 2 questions, but if you'd allow it.
I'll allow it.
Mr. Retsch, I just want to clarify something the defense has asked you. It was your responsibility and therefore your fault that Kim was put in the position where she was allowed to go back to get the deodorant. Is that correct?
Correct.
And so Kim, as a customer, could have no idea that she was not allowed to do that, and therefore she was in a situation she did not have control of because of your lack of responsibility, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, the plaintiff would now like to call our next witness, Dr. Marcia Taylor.
Please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Could you please state your name for the court?
My name is Dr. Marcia Taylor.
And you have a doctorate in psychology, correct?
Correct.
You work mainly with the Metro City University Counseling and Psychology Services, and you have a small practice of your own.
Yes.
Is this correct? All right. Is it true that you work mainly with high school and college age students?
Yes, they're my passion.
All right. How long has Kim Brooks been your patient?
Since February 2nd, 2005.
You stated that Brooks is very sensitive to her surroundings